Alright, so welcome to my TLC tier list, where I'll be rating all the dinosaur TLCs that I've experienced since I started playing the game, which was in about March of 2024. So I've been playing the game for a bit over a year now. So you know what? I'm not a new player, but I'm not exactly one of the older players either. Of course, this is my opinion, which means it's objective fact, obviously. So if you disagree with anything, you're objectively wrong, of course, of course. Uh, so let's get this started, shall we? So the first TLC we'll be covering is the Lambiosaurus. Now, this was my first TLC I ever experienced. And, well, honestly, I don't have that much experience with the old Lambiosaurus because I never got a chance to play it. I've only ever played the TLC version of it. That being said, I'm going off what I remember, and what I remember is that this is a big improvement. Now, I'm not going to put it in S tier. It's close, but it's not S tier. This is going in A tier. And the reason it's going in A tier is because while it got a lot of new abilities, it got a nice new model, uh, and it's a lot more fun to play than it used to be, from what I know. Again, I haven't actually played the old Lambiosaurus. I'm going off what I've heard about the old Lambiosaurus from other players. Despite all that fact, I feel like this dinosaur is very unhealthy for the game. Because all it really does is give massive packs another, like, tool in their arsenal to use. And that's never fun for the game. So overall, it has to go in A tier just because of that. Now, on to the next one, which is the Struthium TLC. Now, I'm going to be real with you guys. I am really biased because the Struthium is my favorite playable in the game. As a solo player, this is my main. This is what I hop on to have fun. Other than Ramp, because Ramp is really good at just messing with people. And yeah, it's just it's just a really good playable, and the TLC made it even better. So this is going to S tier. All right, it took everything that was fun about Struthi and made it way more fun. And well, that's just amazing. What's not to love about that? It got a double jump, which made it more fun to play. It got a new attack, which honestly, it's got like a good like balance between which attack you want to pick, because the regular kick's better for dealing with small targets, and then the kick barrage is better for dealing with heavy targets. Like I've killed so many things with this little playable, but I think it's not as big of a problem as like Lamb because it's a very skill-based dinosaur. You're not going to be killing things unless you're sweating a little bit. Okay, now Kentro is next, and Kentro, it wasn't great. The new model was nice, but the new playability of it isn't that good. I'm gonna have to put it in C tier. Like it's average. It felt bad at the time because this was the first TLC that didn't really land for me. But it's middle of the road. It's middle of the road. The new tail attack made it a lot more annoying to use because the tail attacks are just weird to use. They don't feel right. And a lot of its abilities are just useless. Even especially the ability they added later on. It's not part of the original TLC, but like the one where it sticks your spines into people and they get a debuff. That feels a bit shit. Next, Iguanadon. Now, Iguanodon went from really good to shit when they nerfed the combat weight by 1,000 for like 3 months before the TLC came out. Then when the TLC came out, it was absolutely broken because it was infested with bugs, and for that I kind of have to give it B tier. Plus, on top of that, even though it's really strong now, it's not very fun to play, and neither is it very fun to fight. So I have to put it in B tier because it is a good TLC. It's just not a very fun playable in my opinion. Okay, now we're gonna get very controversial with this next one. So the next one is the Deinonychus. Now Deinonychus, it got a new model, which is, it's okay. The new model, it felt like it didn't really need a new model, but it got one anyway. And while it did get some fun abilities, my god, did they absolutely shit on this playable. It went from like a very good playable to, in my opinion, one of the worst in the entire game. Like, since the Dynon TLC, I've only died, that I can remember, a single time to a Deinonychus. And that's when I was playing a Pachy, Cephalosaurus, and I got attacked. Well, I had fought a Meg, and I had won, and I was already low health, and I got jumped by two of them while I was resting. And that was the only time I can remember that I've been killed by a Dynon since the TLC. And that, so for that, even though it is a pretty good TLC, I have to put it in E tier. It doesn't go in F tier because it is a TLC. They did do good stuff, but I have to put it in E tier because it just absolutely ruined this playable. It went from like one of my favorites to play to like I only play this if I want to spectate because it just can't kill anything now. And I know people will be like, oh, but Flame, if you get a group of 10 Deinonychuses, you know, only 10% of the server population, and you fight something on flat terrain with no water anywhere nearby and no cliffs to camp next to, you can kill things. It's like, yeah, do you know what else you can kill like things with if you've got, you know, 10% of the server playing as them? Literally every other playable in the entire game except for Ramp. Alright, that's not a good excuse. Moving on. Picno. Okay, Picno is an interesting one. Because this was like the first TLC that didn't get a new model. And it really felt undercooked at the time. Like, it felt like this was just like a random throw it out there kind of TLC. But at the same time, it made it so much more fun to play. So I'm kind of conflicted. I'm kind of have to put it into B. It would be an easy, like, A tier if it got a new model. But the fact that it just got a few new abilities that made it genuinely more fun to play, it can only go in B tier. It can't go higher than that. Next is, of course, Leighton, or Latin, however you want to pronounce it. This is again another one of those ones where it just felt pretty lazy. It wasn't a real TLC, and it's to the point where I almost forgot to include it in this list. Like, I almost forgot that this got a TLC. Of course, the playable did get a lot more, like, strong, but it was already good, so it didn't really need that. And it also made, like, the bleed a latent meta, but I can't in good conscience put this, like, anywhere above D, considering that I've genuinely forgot this got a TLC. Like, that's not a good sign. Next is Dasp. Now, this one is definitely going to be controversial, because I know a lot of people think Dasp is overpowered now. I disagree. I think Dasp was overpowered before the TLC, and the TLC made it so much better to deal with. I'm going to put this in S tier. I think the Dasp TLC is S. It got an awesome new model. It's one of the best looking models in the game, in my opinion. It completely changed Bone Break, which went from like the most annoying mechanic in the entire game, especially with Dasps abusing it for like mega packs, to, you know, something that is annoying to fight, but it's not too bad. And on top of that, Dasp is just a really fun, good playable now. So, what's not to love? Oh boy, Pachycephalosaurus. Now, Pachy, this thing was a bit of a mess. Again, no new model, so it's another one of those lazier TLCs. But what was really bad about this when it came out, and when it came out, it would be F tier, because it was just absolutely broken overpowered with the Kickboxer. Because the Kickboxer ability just made it so it could basically 1v1 anything easily. And this was like right after Titan came out, right? Titan had just released, everyone was knowing just how strong Titan was. I remember the first thing I did when I tried out the new Pachy TLC is I used Kickboxer against the Titan, and like, it wasn't even a challenge. I killed that Titan like quicker than I'd kill a Juvie normally. It was insane. But that was only on release. Now I'd put it about a C. It's very average, because they fixed a bunch of stuff and now Knockback Pachy's really fun. So it goes in C. Ooh. Now Cerato. Cerato is our first F tier TLC. Now why is Cerato F tier? Well, again, it's another TLC where they didn't really do anything with it. It didn't get a new model. It didn't get any interesting new abilities. The playstyle just kind of stayed the same, except they removed a bunch of really good stuff and added a bunch of like useless stuff. Like they completely killed its best ability, which was the charge bite, and they added like stuff that is just actually worthless, like this whole like scavenger build where like, oh, you defend bodies. Like, yeah, no one's using that because it's worthless. It's worthless. It's not fun. It's not a good TLC. This is the first F tier. It won't be the last though. It won't be the last. I can promise you that. Oh, we're gonna get even more controversial though right now, because next is the Rex TLC, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now I know some like bad players that only play community server will put it in S tier because they think Rex is overpowered because they tried to like face tank it as a Meg once and they died. Uh, but realistically, I'm hovering between D and C. I'll put it in C because what they did do right, they did so right. Ambushing is fun, even if it's not very good. The model's very nice, except for Batar, which looks like it's got a tumor growing out its head. Like it looks like something out of Jurassic World. But the other two subspecies are very nice looking. The stealth while crouch walking and still being pretty fast is really cool. I like that ability. But my god, is Rex shit right now. Even if you do successfully ambush someone, 90% chance they get away anyway. Because it's just too slow. It's too slow. It can't catch anything. Even with the like ambush, most things are faster than you when you're in the like ambush speed. And when you do land like a bone break, a lot of things are still faster than you when bone broken. And the ones that aren't will either just like kill you, like Io will, or they'll be able to survive long enough to get away from you. So Rex right now, it just can't choose its battles. It either doesn't fight anything or it gets killed. There is no in between. And I think the only way that a Rex can successfully hunt is if it's fighting like actual brain dead players. Like to this day, the only thing that is less threatening to me than a Dinon is a T-Rex. I have died like twice to a T-Rex in total, not even after TLC. In total, I died once on Struthi. This was before the TLC because I got stomped. The stomp, because the stomp's radius was way bigger than it looks, and I wasn't accounting for that. And the second time I was on a baby Rex, trying out the new TLC, and an adult Rex got me. And those are the two times I've died to a T-Rex. So, T-Rex is pretty bad. I don't understand people who think it's good. Like, anything faster than a sub-apex forces you to either go to water or a cliff in order to just survive. It's C tier, it's lucky to get C tier. I'm just going to quickly interject here, because I forgot to mention it when talking about the T-Rex initially. So, I know some of you in the comments are going to be like,
oh, you just don't like T-Rex because you're bad at playing it. It's actually really strong and you just suck, lol.
And well, you see, no, I am not going off this based on my impressions of playing T-Rex, because I don't really play T-Rex because it sucks. I find it really fucking boring. It's like one of my least enjoyable playables to play. I have played it a few times. I've made it work, like, to much difficulty, but my experience overall is based upon killing these things. I find it really easy to kill Rexes. They are like one of my softest targets to go for. If I see a Rex and I'm like on my own and I see a Rex on its own, that Rex is dying. And it's not going to be a very fair fight. I've done it on my Struthi, I've done it on my Leighton. I could probably do it on my Campto. It would be time consuming, but I could probably do it. All right. So no, you got read like a book with that argument. All right, you got read like a fucking book. Okay, now Eo. Eo's kind of like the opposite problem of Rex, where actually no, it's not even opposite. It's just as beautiful. In fact, I think this is like if we were going on models alone, this would be S tier. This is an S tier model. I'm gonna have to put it in B though, because ear is just a little too overpowered with its like damage output build. It can easily kill just about anything in the game in a 1v1, and it's not even close. Like, I know people think like Rex and ear are a fair match, but I've never lost to a Rex on my ear unless there's been like multiple Apexes, and even then it's never the Rex that gets me. uh Other than that, block was broken, and block still is broken. Block is just absolutely worthless, so don't get that. In fact, actually, I'm tempted to lower it down to C, but no, it's not. If I lowered it down to C, I'd have to lower Rex down to D, and I don't think the Rex TLC is that bad. I just think Rex is a bad playable in general, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep it at B, because even though it's like its alternate playstyle is worthless, it's still a really fun playable to play, and it's really strong. It's just a little too overpowered right now. Okay, Duck. Duck TLC is interesting because it basically again, no new model, so it's again one of the lazier ones, so I'll have to subtract points for that. It forces you into two playstyles, which is Dry Duck and Wet Duck. Now, Dry Duck is worthless. It lowers your combat weight. It gets ruined if it rains, which can happen at any time and very often, since like Gondor has two weather systems. It's either foggy or it's raining with fog, with like 10 minutes of sunlight in between. So 90% of the time, Dry Duck is useless. But Wet Duck's actually pretty strong, and Wet Duck's really funny because you get that big knockback. So for that, I'm gonna have to give it D tier. If it got a new model, it would probably be C up with Rex. Let's see, Suko. Suko was just like a way worse version of Duck. I'm gonna put Suko in F tier. It went from one of the best playables in the game to one of the worst. Like, sure, being a fast land Suko is funny, but it's not very useful. And on top of that, water Suko is just too slow at turning, too unmaneuverable to make it to be useful. So it's just kind of like a meme at this point. Because they just recycled the Duck TLC, but made it worse. F tier, F tier. Bars. Now, Bars is a return to form. I don't think Bars is S tier, because I think Bars is still a little bit like annoying to play sometimes, but like the choice of tail slots is a bit weird. But other than that, it's a really solid TLC. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's got good combat, it's got fun abilities. It's actually a fun Apex to play now, which is like crazy. Because like before it was pretty miserable. Yeah, there's not much bad to say about Bars. It went from a miserable playable to a really fun playable, and the model is absolutely gorgeous. Another one of like Elderon's best models. And now and right from A tier, we're going right back to the bottom with the Alberta TLC, and it goes in F tier because it wasn't really a TLC. No new model. No interesting new abilities. It's basically, well, I mean, it did get new abilities. Okay, I'm a bit wrong on that. It did get new abilities. It's just they don't work. Because once again, block is broken. It doesn't work. It only gives you 10% like less damage anyway, so it's worthless. So if you spec into like a block build, you just lose every fight. And on top of that, the other playstyle is just old Alberta before the TLC, but with a lot of its kit removed. So why would you play this? And it goes to show, like, for like the first few days after the Alberta TLC, everyone was playing it. Now it's gone back to being extinct. You never see an Alberta on officials anymore because, well, no one wants to play Alberta. And that leads us to our next one, which also is going to go in F tier. Now, I know people are going to be like,
"Oh, Flame, you just like to sit doing nothing all day on your Anno. You don't like to play the game. You want a free win button."
No, I am glad Anno got nerfed, but I have to rate this objectively. I hate Anno. I hated Anno when it was invincible. I hate Anno now. Why? Because it's fucking boring. The only difference is now it went from boring and invincible to boring and a free kill. And again, it has the same problem as like as Alberta over here, where I went to see. Like, I spent the past few days looking for Annos to hunt. I couldn't find a single one. No one is playing Anno that I can see anyway. I can't even fight them because they all gave up after the first day. And on the first day I was fighting them and I was killing them pretty easily. So I don't know. It's not even a TLC. It's just a bug fix. They didn't make a TLC. No new model. No interesting new abilities. It got 2 new attacks. Okay, technically 3, but 2 of them are the same. It got a spin around attack, which is admittedly pretty cool. I like the spin around attack. And it got a big area of effect attack that you'll never see because it requires standing still for like 8 seconds and just letting people hit you, which Anno doesn't benefit from anymore. So you're never going to see that attack. And still, it's still just such a boring playable because it's too slow to do anything. But now it's also just too weak to defend itself from anything other than like small playables. But hey, if Alderon wants to take a bug fix like removing Hunker, which yes, I would count that as a bug fix, it could have been done like a year ago, fairly easily. And if they want to do that and call it a TLC, fair enough, you can do that. But I'm not going to count it as a TLC, so it goes in F tier because it's not a TLC, it's a bug fix. All right. Anyway, yeah, that's my TLC tier list. I think I'm objectively correct, and you feel free to be, like I said, feel free to be wrong in the comments. Lol.